On this episode, we'll be talking about Facebook groups, where to start, and how to define them. So here's the thing. Why are Facebook groups important? We get that question a lot when I started our Facebook group that has now 113,000 people in it. The question was, what are you doing? But now people are understanding a little bit more of why you're starting groups. You can see that there are a lot of people in there interacting, and what you can do with them is connect with people a lot better than the other routes that are available. So let me get right into it here. Let me give you 5 reasons as to why you want to do Facebook groups. Number 1, see, the organic reach is down on Facebook, even though they're still the number 3 most visited website in the world. The organic reach is down. Number 2, Facebook is committed to privacy. When I was at F8, Mark Zuckerberg kept on reminding everybody that they had turned over a new leaf and that they were going over privacy. Privacy is by far the thing that they're going for. Now, more friends and family will show up on your feed, so that challenges a lot of these businesses out there that are trying to reach the right demographic, especially with what happened over the last few years. In some businesses here, Facebook has really cut down on the ability to reach certain people in Facebook and on Instagram. So next, less content from businesses. Obviously, that's what happened because of Cambridge Analytica. That whole situation has really challenged social media as a whole. And here, lastly, groups are a very, 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 very high central focus for Facebook, even to the point that over the last few days here, over the last week, we've seen now on Ads Manager the ability for us to be able to target the groups that we own. And now we'll be able to throw some money in there and pop up even more in our groups. And a group like mine that has 113,000 people in it, that makes a lot of sense, even though we have 100,000 continually active in the span of 28 days. So now let's get into the second part of it. Let me give you some examples of successful groups out there. Obviously, ours is right in the middle. It's Lab Coat Agents. We do have 113,000, and I'll show you shortly how that looks. But the one on the left here is Peloton. And Peloton, if you're not familiar with them, is that company that has that stationary bike, the exercise bike, and now the treadmill and some other things. But their group has grown rapidly, and it has really allowed them to create a culture. And if you go onto the Peloton group, you can see a lot of people being excited about purchasing their first Peloton and so forth. Now, take a look at Grown and Flown. This one I came across by accident. Take a look at it. It's really families, husband, wives, or adults that have had children that are now much older, and they're trying to cope with certain situations, good, bad, so forth, but it's a place where they can all get together and talk. Next, Ad Espresso. That's a smaller community, but again, this one is more of a business like Peloton, and it shows how by building a community, building a group, they can keep the culture within the company. And at the end of the day, it's all about retention for a lot of these companies, and that's what they do. Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, he's a friend of mine, and great guy. He wrote a book called Miracle Morning, and now he came out with a new book called Miracle Equation. The point is that he has a Facebook group with hundreds of thousands of people in it that are continually pushing themselves and motivating others and inspiring many. This one's led by Hal and his friends. Take a look at that one. It's called The Miracle Morning as well. Very, very great example of what a powerful group can do to lift others. And then you've got a smaller one here called Love Livermore. It's got a few thousand people in it, and it's from a friend as well up north in California. And she created this group with her friend where it's specifically for a community, and she's a real estate agent. So she's using this not only to give back to the community, but so that the community can then come together and have a place to be able to share certain things, best places to eat, things to do, concerns that the community has, all of that. And at the same time, it serves the purpose for her and for the other people involved as admins or moderators, for them to be able to grow their businesses as well. So these are examples of successful groups. I'd love for you to take a look at them. I'll show you the Lab Coat Agents one so you can see how that one works. But let's take a look at this here. The most important thing to me is really defining your group. That's the focus of what I'm going to talk about today. And then I'll show you a few examples as to what I've been doing. If by any chance you started on this one, good for you. This is part one. All right, so most important thing to start off with is defining your group. I've come to find that there are 4 different types of groups. Number one, special interest groups. And I like to say, look, it could be like a kayaking group, a cats group, a dogs group, something that's very specific. Number 2, or type 2, is community type groups, where it's about a specific city or a county or an area, like the one I showed you there before on Love Livermore. And type 3, business groups, a company selling a product or a service like Peloton. That's definitely a business group. And type 4 is one like our group, the Lab Coat Agents group. It's a group of people that have same beliefs and standards, give advice, find solutions, and so forth. What does this mean for you? Well, it means that the first thing you have to do is really define your group. Look at why you're doing what you're doing. I always say find your passion, right? Look at the things that you already love doing. If you love sewing, I would highly recommend that you start a sewing group. If you love drinking tea, start a tea group. If you love cats, start a cat group. There can never be enough cat groups out there. Look, whatever it is that you love to do, chances are you won't stop doing that, and your group will continue to grow because it has someone leading it that's passionate about it. And that's what I did when I started Lab Coat Agents, all about real estate and lead conversion, and then it blew up from there. Now, let me show you a couple of things here that I've done over the last few days so that I can give you a better understanding what the possibilities are, and then we'll go into really creating a group really quick, just so that you have the basic understandings of how to do this. So let me share this with you. All right, so here you're gonna find a group that I just started 4 or 5 days ago, and it's called Viral Video. It's a subgroup under Lab Coat Agents. And this one, over the last few days, already has 4,400 members. That's almost 5,000 members in the span of 4 or 5 days, which is pretty insane. We have some tactics that I'll show you in the next parts that will help you grow your group super fast. Again, here we're passionate about this, the people that I brought into this, passionate about video. I love video and I do this all the time, like I'm doing now. And so you look at our Lab Coat Agents group. Here's our Lab Coat Agents group, clearly defined, just like our video group. And then you see here we have 113,000 members, and it's thriving and doing quite well. Now, let me show you here. I'm going to go into how to create a group. It's really easy. Facebook has made it extremely simple. I'm using a desktop. You can even do it on your phone. Here, you go above on the section on the desktop that says Create. Click on Create. You go to Groups. Click on Groups. Now you're going to name your group. Let's say you love, I always use this as an example, but you love kayaking. Let's go with kayak. Let's name it Kayaking in the US. Right now I'm narrowing it down. I can add some people right now, or I can leave this blank. It might actually make me add people. Here it says, do you want this as a private group so people can't join just by seeing it, or do you want this kind of visible for everyone to be able to see? So until I fix it up, I'm going to leave it as private. So let's leave it as private. We're good. And then hide group. I'm going to, for now, I'm going to hide it. People won't be able to see it. And I'm going to add, let's add Jeff, just because he popped up there. And I'm going to go ahead and create. Now, as soon as I create, it's going to take me to this section. It says, great, now you need a picture. And you probably need to invite quite a few people, right? So here are some steps. First thing is I want to upload a picture. And I usually go to Canva, edit the picture there. So let's go to Canva. I'll show you right here. I go to the blog posts. It's a lot easier. And let's see if they have something along the lines of kayak, which I doubt they will, but let's pick that one. That looks awesome, right? I'm gonna put kayaking in the US and put let's kayak. Now I have it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to crop it from here because it's going to give me the right resolution, believe it or not. Cropping it does. Now it's ready to go on my desktop. I'm going to go to upload photo and it should be popping up there. There we go. As soon as it's up there, I can drag it, make it look really pretty. Now I'm going to save it. Now I can go in and add certain things to this. I create topics here so that people can post directly, connect any other existing group that I have. And I can go into more right here. I can edit group settings, which is something that I do want to do. Give it a description for all kayakers in the US. And so I can even add a location. Let's say I want to be in Malibu here, Malibu. There it is, Malibu, California. Done. And I can change the colors. I like light blue, and leave it as a private group. Now here I can say, well, look, we can have these certain sections here, or we can add them. For me, I like to leave the watch party on. Now, can anyone add members into the group? I like to leave only admins and moderators so that we don't start adding people that just don't match our culture or don't love kayaking and so forth. And then you can go in and say, well, membership pre-approvals, certain groups will allow you to go in automatically. Let's say I had another group and I wanted everybody from that group to automatically come in without having to answer any questions. I can do that. Now here, you can ask questions, and I love asking questions. So number one question for a kayaking, do you love kayaking? I would say multiple choice or written answer. I usually leave it as a written answer. Yes. Now you can add 3 questions. So the next question is, I love to take information so that I can do a newsletter, send out a newsletter. And I'd say, please provide email so I can send you our awesome newsletter. And then you want to give a written answer there. And then next one is promise. We could do like promise not to spam, or something along the lines as, are you awesome? That one always gets lots of love. People always say, yes, my mom thinks so, I love it. And then you can create rules right here. There are some rules already on here, which you can just add and confirm. That's one. And they already have some for you. They have 4 that you can start off with. So I just go ahead and add those 4. And there we go. Now it's ready to go. I can go into discussions, and what I can type here is, tell me the best place to kayak. Now it's a first post. Now when people come in and I'm inviting them, they'll be like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll answer that. And I can even pin it to the top right here, mark as an announcement. Now everybody that comes in will see it. So that's the gist of creating a group. Part 1, stay tuned for the other parts because there's quite a few. And make sure to check out the rest of my videos and stay tuned So please hit the subscribe button because I need more subscribers. Have a great day.